Welcome to A Chat with Heart. I'm your host, Christina Martin. I'm a singer-songwriter. I live on a dirt road with my best friend Dale in rural Nova Scotia, Canada. A Chat with Heart is just me having chill conversations with people I want to celebrate and topics that I'm curious about. If you have a question or a comment for this podcast, call my Heartbeat hotline, 1-902-669-4769. To send this podcast even more love, visit me online at patreon.com/Christina Martin. I'm so happy you're listening. Our personal stories have great power to heal, influence, and inspire. All we have to do is show up for the conversation. If we just talk about it, we could shine a light, we could break a dark day. If we just talk about it, we can cut away, we can make a brighter day. Hey, I feel like it's been a while since we've had a heart-to-heart. Where should I begin? Well, as some of you know, Dale and I traveled to England recently, and the tour went really, really well. So I kept a tour blog, which if you're signed up to support me on my Patreon, you can access that tour blog for all the finer details. And so check that out. It went super well. I came home and I was at my mom's when she had her surgery. My mom had a mastectomy, and she was incredible. And I've really been enjoying spending time with my mom. I don't enjoy seeing her have to go through, experience cancer and treatments, but she is just so strong. I mean, she always has been, but holy shit, just so positive and is ready to deal with anything. And it was just sort of ironic because I was there to take care of her, and then I had a cold that I caught from Dale. And so I was in bed for a week at mom's while she was healing from her big surgery. And then I flew to British Columbia. I was still kind of recuperating and just exhausted. And meanwhile, mom had this major surgery and was just doing great. So, I mean, I felt really good about mom. On I had to go to do some shows, some solo shows in BC. And, having a cold on tour is no fun, but I had some time to rest and I got to reconnect with some friends. The shows went great. Again, this is all in my tour blog on my Patreon. I don't want to go on and on about it here, but I'm glad I did it. It was hard to kind of be away from home, and I certainly would have liked to have spent more time with mom. But as soon as I got back from British Columbia, I got together with mom. She just got more results, and it turns out she does have to have more surgery, and her chemo starts tomorrow. So she has some more scans this week as well to see if there's anything else that we need to be concerned about. She's still in good spirits, and we're optimistic that she's going to do great with her upcoming chemo treatments. And a lot of my patrons, I just want to say thank you so much. A lot of you sent my mom some well wishes and postcards, and she just really appreciated that. And and some good news is that we adopted an 8-month-old kitty, little calico cat for mom. So I'm actually bringing the cat over to my mom's today, and my mom will have this great company with her when she starts her chemo this week. And the kitty cat is a very sweet cat. Mom wants to call her Lola. So unless that changes, that's what her name will be. She has a great demeanor. She's lovely. She doesn't scratch or bite. She loves to cuddle. And so mom's going to have, I'll be with her this week. And then my brother, Alex, he's great. He's coming to see her for another week, and we'll be spending a lot of time with mom. And we're all doing good. We're staying positive, taking care of what needs to be taken care of. So that's a quick personal update. And I hope y'all are doing good. I know everybody has their own stuff they're dealing with in their personal lives and also professional lives. And feel free to call my Heartbeat hotline if you have any questions or comments or just want to share or vent and feel heard. I'll be happy to answer any questions or comment on a future episode. The number to call is 1-902-669-4769. That's the Heartbeat hotline, 902-669-4769. You can call it from anywhere in the world. It's probably going to have some charges from outside of Canada, but yeah. Listen, I just got back from the East Coast Music Awards. Shout out to ECMAs. It was one of my favorite. And maybe because I'm sober now, maybe because I was just so tired, it was more relaxing for me. But I really enjoyed, and I'm grateful for the chance to perform at the ECMAs and perform with old friends and meet new friends. I saw some great music. Joe Henry was a great new discovery for me. I got to see my guest today on this episode perform her own concert in Charlottetown on Prince Edward Island to a sold-out room, and she was dynamite. So let's get to this chat with Heart, as I've been really looking forward to getting to know my guest today and to share with all my little Heartbeat listeners an incredible young female artist named DeeDee Austin. So DeeDee is an 18-year-old Indigenous pop powerhouse and member of the Abogwait First Nation on Prince Edward Island. DeeDee, who you could call a hybrid artist, embraces the contemporary and traditional Indigenous music, which she creates and implements into each one of her infectious high-energy performances. And I can attest to this. She absolutely is an incredible performer. And her songwriting is really catchy and has really important messages. Listen, she recently sat on the 2024 JUNOs event committee. The JUNOs are like the Grammys in Canada. So she sat on that committee as part of the local JUNOs team as a voice representing young emerging artists, youth, local artists, and the Mi'kmaq culture. She carries, get this, a combined total of 16 award nominations. In 2022, I'm laughing because it's like she's 18 and she's already just so acclaimed. And in 2022 and 23, DeeDee garnered Music Nova Scotia's Indigenous Artist of the Year and 2022 New Artist Recording of the Year, along with SOCAN Songwriter of the Year, honorable mention, Chief Noel Doucette Youth Achievement Award, and was nominated for Women in Music Canada Honors 2023. And I'm going to go on and on. Nominated for the Lieutenant Governor's Award in 2023, along with being nominated for the Best of Halifax Pop Artist, New Artist, Music Video, and Solo Artist. Holy shit. She's recently performed at the Road to the Junos, headlined the 2023 Canada Games closing ceremonies, opened the 2023 North American Indigenous Games, opened for April Wine to a sold-out show, performed at the Wildfire Relief Benefit to over 8,000 fans, and has shared the stage with some of Canada's greats like Bruce Guthrow, Neon Dreams, Classified, Matt Mays, George Canyon, Jimmy Rankin, and Dave Gunning, to name a few. DeeDee's goal is to touch the hearts of her listeners and to consistently strive to make change in the world we live in by coming together as one with love, peace, equality, and friendship being the forefront. How about that? Only 18 at the time of this chat with her, with DeeDee Austin. This is literally a chill chat. The thing about interviews, like, it's not super interviewee. Like, it's just a chat where I do have questions, but like, you might have questions too. Who knows? Mm-hmm. And I do find like interviews, especially like the 5-minute interviews, can feel kind of stressful sometimes. I remember early in my career too, like just kind of getting, oh my goodness, I fudged so many of them. But I love these long form ones because it kind of gives you, it's like they're a little more relaxed, and it really gives people the opportunity to get to know you better. How do you feel about interviews and things?
Well, like for me, like it varies. Like it also depends on like who the interview is with.
Mhm.
But like I love interviews just because like I think it's super cool that like I started my career at a young age, and like I'm kind of like on a mission to encourage other youth to kind of like follow their dreams. So any interview that I get, like I kind of take advantage of it because I want to encourage other people to like follow their dreams, and I'm trying to like prove to everybody that like it is possible to like get to where you want to be.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that you brought that up too, because I didn't want to like bring it up so much that like, oh, you're so young and all that. But like when I first saw you and your band performing Natural Born Original, like I walked into the Scotiabank Center um, at the Wildfire Recovery concert in Halifax in the spring of
Hmm.
2023, and right away my first thoughts were like this, wow, this song and this performance is so great. And I couldn't help but notice you were young, and I was like, I was so far away from having that poise and confidence. And how excited I got, so excited, DeeDee, like that here,
Aw.
here's a young woman um sharing her positive message, like making connections, and like what I just got really excited about you for what you're doing now, but for your future as well. So
Aw. Thank you.
I like to ask my guests, what were some of your first memories with music, and maybe writing songs that kind of you can now go, oh yeah, like I was kind of destined for this.
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, I haven't had anybody like ask that question before, but like one of the major things that I always will remember in my career is actually my first ever EP release party. So I released Stepping Stones, which was my first EP in 2021, in the summer of 2021. And I actually decided to have my EP release party in PEI because I'm from the Abelguit First Nation in Scotchford.
Oh wow.
So so I wanted to kind of like go back to like my community and have my EP release party in my like hometown, I guess.
Yeah.
So I did that, and it was actually so successful. I sold out the Old Triangle 2 nights in a row
Oh, amazing.
for my first EP, and I'll never forget it. And after that moment, I was just like, yeah, like this is for me. Like I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to do this.
So that was just, yeah, a confirmation.
Yeah.
Wow, you must have been buzzing. And I mean, now we're full circle, ECMAs, Charlottetown this year.
Hmm.
Um, this this must like feel really good. That 2021, like that wasn't that long ago. And that was during the
No.
pandemic. Like that's
Yeah.
we hear a lot of stories about how like the lost years people didn't, really get much done during that time, but it sounds like you were really busy, and nothing was stopping you from pursuing this path, you know.
I honestly believe, Christina, I honestly believe that the pandemic helped me because I was kind of like one of those artists that were just like hidden by the
Mhm.
pandemic. And so I kind of just utilized the pandemic to just create and write and get all my ducks in a row so I could break out after the pandemic. And that's kind of how it went. Cause like literally like during the pandemic I did stepping stones, and I started working on other singles and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But like I was kind of just like one of those artists who was like, oh, like where did she come from? But I actually like utilized the pandemic majorly to kind of get my ducks in a row so that I could pursue my career and whatnot.
Okay, that's incredible. Okay, so there must be some like people in your life, like I don't know if you were just born out of the gate like I have a plan and I'm an organized person. Like were there mentors or key people in your life that have kind of helped coach you, you know or do you have a team when it comes to the music side of things? What's going on? What's going on behind the scenes?
So I have so many people who like I want to shout out, and I hope I don't forget anybody. And if everyone is listening to this podcast, please don't come after me for forgetting my name because I'm so thankful.
Oh, that's okay. If you forget after, you can write to me and I'll mention them. I'll say, oh, by the way, DeeDee wanted to mention so and so.
Okay. Okay. So
yeah.
first off, I would like to thank my parents because my parents they've invested, everything into me, financially, emotionally, just everything. They put their all into me. So I really wouldn't be here without them, like literally, but like career wise too. And so I'd also like to shout out Scott Ferguson. He was one of the first people to one of the first producers that I worked with ever. He actually produced Stepping Stones. And then for my EP release party, that's when I had to, get with a band and get a band together. So I'd like to shout out Chrissy and Eddie, Jeff Barrett, Sir Ken Swar, and Sean Downey. They were my first people who I ever played with. And it was super cool because like I was so young, but I was immediately accepted into this world of professionals. And so I feel like I was like super fortunate enough to like skip all the little steps leading up to the big stuff. And so they brought me a long way. And Chrissy and Eddie we still are best friends ever. And he's still a major part of my career as well.
Love it.
And then I have Brooks Diamond Productions. So they work with me. They're my booking agent. I'm super thankful for them. They've done a lot of work with me in the past couple of years. And I'm just super grateful to have them on the team. They're a great asset. And they've also been helping me big time as well.
Fiona and Brooks, love them.
Yes, yeah. No, they're great people. And then honestly, like I just like to shout out the whole music community in general because like I was so nervous coming into the music industry because I always looked at it as a competition. I was so young. I didn't feel like I kind of like fit in with the rest of them. But the more I kind of like got involved in the industry, I was like, this isn't a competition. This is art. Like we make art to make art and then make art. So like, why am I competing against everybody else when I'm just making art for me? You know what I mean? So now I look at it as bridging divides and coming together as one to hopefully just have the community focus on the art itself and less on the competition aspect of the industry.
It probably hasn't all been easy for you, but I'd love to hear if you care to share some challenges that you have experienced and what kind of things you've done to sort of overcome them, because that's also a good thing. No one ever starts out and says, by the way, it's going to actually be a slog. It's going to be hard. They just say, gonna go after your dreams, which is absolutely, I'm a huge proponent of like, definitely chase your dreams. But it can be really hard. Like what kind of things have you experienced hardships in pursuing your dream?
So actually for me, it mainly stems from my culture and, my ethnicity. That's a big word for me.
That's good. You got it. Yeah.
But anyway, so for those of you like who don't know, I'm Mi'kmaq. I'm from the Aboriginal First Nation. My mom is Mi'kmaq and my dad is white, so I'm 50-50, which that doesn't matter because when you're native, you're native. But however, other people in the world don't see it that way, and so they decide to kind of degrade on people who are 50 this, 50 that. And so throughout my career, I've dealt with a lot of bullying, a lot of discrimination, a lot of racism, a lot of, verbal abuse, especially towards my music. Because whenever I was 14, I released my first single and it was called Wishes. And I actually, like now looking back on it, I have a vision like to hopefully get it synced into a Disney movie and stuff like that. But back then, whenever I first released it, everybody was like, oh, like, what are you doing with yourself sort of thing. They were like, why did you even release that? Like, it's a sucky song. Oh, it's so childish, that, this, that, and the other thing. But it's like, dude, that's a piece of art that I took the time out of my day to create. So why do you think that you have the right to sit there and just, basically just talk down on it, because like now that I've been in the industry for so long, like it's just like art is art, and it takes so long to create art, no matter what it is, a song, a painting, a drawing, whatever. Art's art, and it takes so long to create. And so now I'm just like, I was sitting there and I was just like, why am I letting these people just like talk bad about me and my music? And why am I, letting that get to me? Because like I have a dream and I have a passion and I want to follow it. So basically what I did was I took the hate and discrimination and the racism and I turned it into a motivation, and that's actually what motivated me to get to where I am now.
I love that. I do not love that you had to experience all that, but it is interesting to hear the backstories of people, like at certain times in our lives. Like I used to be motivated by the pain in my life. I was so driven by it, fierce. And then you get to a point, and I think you're perhaps, I don't want to speak, speak for you, but where you're then motivated by love and all the goodness. And I mean, I see that in you. Do you feel that okay, you in the beginning, that's what really pumped you up, and you turn that negative into a positive, but now you're actually flying on from the positive vibes? Is that?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I can agree with that 100%.
Yeah, that's really cool. What's something about you that people just don't know about you? Like, I mean, I'm afraid of worms and snakes, and like I love dill pickles.
Do you?
No, yeah, I used to eat dill pickle and mustard sandwiches. Are there like quirky things about you that
cool?
I'm really like shifting the topic, aren't I? Like just
yeah, but it's cool. I like this.
Oh my God! Yeah, what are
some quirky things that I like or that I do?
They do. I used to have a stamp collection. I'm just throwing things at you to kind of get the juices flowing. Like, is there anything that you are embarrassed of from your childhood? Like, I don't know. This is not embarrassing, but like, did you collect used Cabbage Patch dolls or something? Cabbage Patch dolls are pretty creepy, by the way. But
I've actually never had an experience with a Cabbage Patch doll, but
it's for the best.
Some like quirky things that I do, I guess, that my fans don't really know about is like, I don't even know. Like,
are you quirkless? Are you?
I don't know.
Maybe you're just like.
Like I have some like weird things that are like kind of gross. Like I could be a professional burper.
Oh,
like literally.
Is that something that you do in public?
No. No, it's like behind the scenes. But like I remember when I was in like junior high, me and my friends used to have like burp contests, and I'd always win.
Oh,
always.
I have to share with you. I almost choked on a burping episode. I had my boyfriend was with me, and I was trying to show off and like chug cranberry juice and then burp really loud. God. And it came up and like through my nose, and somehow like I started choking on it. And it was just me and him. And here I am trying to impress him. My mom was a nurse, and she was around the corner like ironing, and I started like I could not breathe. I'm gasping. There's gross stuff coming out my nose. And
oh my gosh,
he's just staring at me, and I go to get my mom, and she like performs the Heimlich maneuver. And that was the last time I think I tried to like be cool with burping. I just wanted to, I don't want to freak you out, but like just a fair warning if you're doing those competitions and chugging liquid.
Like I'll definitely like take a mental note. For sure.
Oh my! Have you ever? You know what? What's fun though is apple burps. Do you know what I mean by that?
No, I don't think so.
I eat apples really fast, and I always have these incredible burps that like come from deep within my soul, and they are loud and long, and It's just usually one, and it's right after I eat the apple, probably because like I'm swallowing so much air. I'm probably going to choke on an apple someday because I just anyway. So I like
Oh my gosh.
I like the fact that you can burp.
Yeah, I burp like a man. So
Okay,
just a warning to everybody.
that's cool.
So like a couple other things that my fans probably don't know is like I love the outdoors. I'm always outside. I love gardening with my dad too. We last year we did like a little vegetable garden in our lawn and it was like right cute, but we loved it. So I'm like a super like outdoorsy person. I love walking, I love biking. Swimming is a big thing for me as well. I'm not really like a big sports girl. Whenever I was in junior high, I kind of was like trying to figure out my career path and I tried a bunch of different sports and I just kept getting led back to music. So I
Oh,
believe that I was put on this earth to make music.
I think that's great. All right, shifting gears again. I wanted to ask you about this sense of urgency that can come when it comes to songwriting. So I've had this experience a couple times in my life where I didn't just show up at 9 a.m. to do my regular writing session. It was like something happened. I was reading the newspaper. It triggered something that meant a lot to me in my life. And I had to write this song. And I heard you talk about urgency when it came to your song, Buried Truth, which
Mm,
I do want to mention that you're nominated for 2 East Coast Music Awards this year. And correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah.
one of those is Fans Choice Video of the Year for the video for Buried Truth. Am I right? I'm right.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. That's amazing, by the way. There's a couple of videos for this, supporting this song. I watched them all, and it's a very powerful song,
Oh,
very moving,
thank you.
and very effective too with the visuals I found, which I'm a
Mm.
huge fan of music videos. But I wondered if you could speak to that urgency when it came to writing this song.
So basically, when I was younger, I found out that my great grandmother went to the residential school, and I immediately like realized that I had a family connection to the residential school. So I was like, how can I write this song so that it not only tells the story, but it also is kind of like an outlet to the survivors and the people who have had people in the residential school who haven't survived. Because I find that there's so much generational trauma that stems from residential school. Like my family included, like we struggle a lot with generational trauma from it. So I wanted to just like be a voice for everybody in the Indigenous community when it came to residential schools. Because I not only do I have a family connection, residential schools are literally so inhumane. Like they're just not even like it's actually disgusting. Like it makes me sick thinking about it. So whenever I wrote Buried Truth, I had the opportunity of writing it with Chrissy and Eddie, and I did a little co-write with Owen O'Sound Lee on it as well. And I honestly had a vision of whenever I wrote Buried Truth, I was like, how can I make this so in depth that it just literally captures everyone? That's literally how my brain went. And so I stripped it down to the bare bones. Like they scrubbed our skin with a wire brush.
Hmm.
Like like whenever I was talking to my mom and she would tell me stories about like my great grandmama or whatever, like my great grandmama, like she had her hair cut off, like her braid was gone. They scrubbed her skin with Comet and a wire brush and scalding hot water in a bath. They told her that she wasn't, well, they stripped her language from her, just like everyone else in the residential school. So there was just so many things that I wanted to like include in the song because I'm just like, I'm such an activist for that. Like, I really am because it's just such a horrible thing that our government has done to our world. And so whenever I had the opportunity to write Buried Truth, I was honestly honored too because I was just like, it's such an honor to be a voice for those who can't. And if I can be the voice by taking our story right across the world, then that's what I want to do.
Amazing. And I I just found out that you had Buried Truth Part 2 and 3.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, here is like moving from telling this story, which is so important, so valuable, so healing, part of the healing for so many. And then this shift to, okay, this crap happened. Here we are. And now what are we going to do? And
yeah,
I'd love to just read the part that jumped out at me, which was, I'd love for you to speak to it, was there's some lyrics here. Move past blame. We've been torn apart, but the truth is we are one. So now the healing can begin with one another and within. Forget the actions of the past, making new bonds healthy to last. So like, tell me about your process in kind of moving to that, those lyrics and that message.
Yeah, so I honestly, this was kind of like a joint idea, the trilogy, because I wanted to write Buried Truth about the past, what happened. Buried Truth Part 2 is the present. So like it's kind of hard for me to like explain because like I wanted to write it like past, present, and future.
Mm-hmm.
So like our past is like, what happened at the residential school. Our present is, how do we come together as one and kind of just like, heal each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then our future, would be like our, looking into the future in hopes of like love, kindness, friendship, etc. So like that one lyric, no more shame, move past blame. So like I just like I don't want to put the blame on anyone. Like what happened, but we kind of have to like forgive but not forget, but move on in a way that everybody can still, be sane, sort of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't feel good to stay in a place of pain.
No.
And unfriendliness or resentment I mean, I think that's the goal, is how do we get to this healthier place in our communities?
Yeah, and I feel that placing blame continuously doesn't do anything. You can blame them all you want, but it already happened. So are you going to just dwell on the past, or are you going to, actually like come together with your community to make it better and to make it a better future for, all of our Indigenous youth that are, coming into the world literally every day? Like, so what are we going to do? Dwell on the past or make a better future? And I want to make a better future.
I love it. Action has so much power. And that's what you're doing with your music. So this is pretty, it's just great. I'm overly, this sounds creepy, overly tickled. I don't even like tickling. So I don't know why I use that. I actually hate being tickled. So I should not, I retract that word. I'm tickled pink. No, it's just really exciting. And one of the reasons I really wanted to talk to you and I want to get to know you more outside of the podcast too is just that it's infectious, that, to see somebody taking action and in the right direction, what I believe to be the right direction. And you want to, I don't know, I like to have those kinds of people around me, or to get to know them, and it's really great to have this platform to share that message with other people too, because, the world can feel really heavy. And sometimes I think people are kind of stunted in their life. They're like, I don't know what to do. I'm just overwhelmed. And do you find that like, it's just, sometimes you just got to pick something and do it? Like just pick something and go do it. Like,
yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm going to shift gears again. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
I really want to hear about your experience preparing for and participating in the Road to the JUNOs this year, because that's pretty big.
It was so much fun.
The Junos for listeners, international listeners, are like the Grammys. Everyone knows what the Grammys are in the United States. They're like the Grammys of Canada, really.
Yeah.
So, what was tell us about your role in that, and yeah, how it was.
So actually, I was pretty involved in the Junos this year, which was actually a surprise, and I'm super honored to have had this big of a part in it. But I actually had the honor of sitting on the local Halifax Junos committee. So I was asked this year to basically represent youth and be a voice for the youth, for the Mi'kmaq youth, and to make sure that Mi'kmaq culture was represented at all of our event sites. And along with that, I had the opportunity to perform at Road to the Junos. So what I did was I literally spent 2 weeks, like probably even more than 2 weeks, to be completely honest with you. And I was just like, Road to the Junos, Road to the Junos. I was just so focused on preparing for it because I was so excited because, like, whenever I was younger, like, I always had, like, the dream of, being at the Junos or being at the Grammys or winning an Oscar or whatever. But, like, whenever the opportunity, like, actually came to me to play Road to the Junos, I was like, what the heck is life right now? So I literally, like, put all, like, my everything into prepping for the Junos because I was just... I was over the moon. Like, I couldn't believe, like, it was so surreal to me. So anyway, me and the band, we rocked out at Road to the Junos, and it was absolutely amazing. We played alongside Wolf Castle and Morgan Toney, who was also nominated for a JUNO award this year.
Nice.
And it was just so awesome. It was such a great experience. I got to meet so many people, and actually, I just graduated high school in January. Thank you. I'm an early graduate, and my whole administrative team at my school, they actually came to Road to the Junos and they watched me perform because they never, like, throughout school, I was always like the kid that wasn't present. Like, my butt was never in a seat at school because I was just on the road. I was doing music. I was in the studio. I was performing, touring, rehearsing, etc. Well, the life of a musician.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think that my school really, like, understood, like, how much work I actually put into it. Like, I was, like, trying to explain to them, like, that I do play with a 5-piece band and that I do this for a living. And then whenever they came to my performance, it was just so special to me because it felt that I was just, like, that I made them, like, understand, like, who I was as a person and what I wanted to do, like, for my career, like, career-wise and stuff like that. So it was an absolute honor to be at the Road to the Junos and to have my school there supporting me and my family and friends, and everyone was there. I got to reconnect with so many old sound techs, lighting techs, like, everybody. Like, it was so awesome. And then I also had the opportunity of having a little interview with CBC Music as well. Which they actually aired the little piece of the interview at the beginning of my performance for the Road to the Junos, which you can find on YouTube. But yeah, no, it was just an incredible experience. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, I couldn't make it to the awards show. But I did do Road to the Junos, and it was such an honor, and I'll never forget that experience.
I love it. Awesome. And now coming up, we have the ECMAs.
Nice.
Yeah, and you're nominated for 2 awards: ECMA for Dance Recording of the Year and Fans Choice Video of the Year for Buried Truth.
Yes.
And so is it different? Your prep for the ECMAs, you probably put so much prep into the Road to the Junos that you're, like, kind of already prepped. Would you think? Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly, like, I prep every day. Like, I just look at it as a job. I wake up, I go to the studio, and I practice for myself, and then I get together with my band and I rehearse. Like, that's kind of just, like, that's my routine. I wake up, I go to the studio, do what I have to do, come back in, live my life. And I usually set aside, like, 2 hours. So, like, I'll do, like, 1 hour in the morning or 1 hour in the afternoon, or, like, 1 hour in the afternoon and 1 hour late at night, like, wherever I can fit it in, just because I am 18 and I do have, the teenager life as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, for ECMA this year, I'm super excited. I'm playing 2 showcases. So I have an export showcase, and then I have a free concert actually at the Confederation Court Mall. They're actually shutting down the whole mall and doing a DeeDee Austin Stay Dancing free concert.
Oh, amazing.
So there's going to be like appetizers and drinks at the pop-up bar and a VIP meet and greet, and it's just going to be so much fun. And then I'm also presenting an award at ECMA this year as well. I'm presenting the Indigenous Artist of the Year award. It's going to be so much fun. I love ECMA. Last year, ECMA, I was given 6 showcases in 5 days when they were in Halifax.
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. So this year I'm excited. I'm going to PEI, which is right by my reservation, and I'm just going to have the opportunity, hopefully, to just, watch other showcases and, connect with people and hang out with people and actually enjoy ECMAs a little more than I could have last year because I was performing so much. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Like, I loved performing that much. Any chance to get on a stage is amazing to me. Like, I'll take it any chance that I get. But last year I'm grateful, but it was definitely a lot.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the like, give me 2 shows.
Yeah,
please give me something, and I'll take whatever. But I can relate. I used to do way more shows at the ECMAs, and it just is. It's overwhelming, particularly when you are also like, I've always been self-managed, and so you're doing meetings and you're trying to keep, check your voice, make sure you're not straining, and it's it can be a lot, but it sounds like a really healthy pace for you this year, and I will see you there.
Yay!
Okay, well, I've got a one sort of last question before I read you my goodbye. I started writing my goodbyes out in advance so that I don't totally fudge it up. But do you have what are some things in your near future or distant future that you're like, I really want to do that?
That's a good question, because my dream has always been to play stadiums. I've never pictured myself playing a little bar gig or anything like that. Like, I've always pictured just like big and beyond, which is kind of funny because like literally in the past like 2 years, I've played Scotiabank Center 3 times. And it was absolutely incredible. But now I want to, so like one stadium that's like really on my radar is the Rogers Centre in Toronto. Absolutely love that venue, want to rock out in it. I want to sell it out. But like my vision for myself is just like playing in front of like 70,000, 80,000 people. And then I eventually want to get to the point where I'm playing for like 4 or 5 million.
Okay. No biggie,
Like I have like a pretty big dream, and whenever you listen to my songs, like I kind of tell my life story through my songs in a way, because like my stepping stones was where I kind of started, and then it kind of like, well, literally the stones kept stepping into stay dancing and whatnot, and so now that sort of tells an aspect of my life as well. So I want to just take my music and just share it right around the globe, because I just put so much work into it, and I'm literally obsessed with music. I literally say this to my dad all the time. I was like, I'm literally such a nerd when it comes to music. Like, I'm literally like overly obsessed. So any chance that I can get to like share my music in hopes to like have it affect other people in like a way that it resonates with me as well, like that's kind of like what I hope for.
Well,
and what I want to do.
I mean, it's happening, and it sounds like it's going to happen. I love it. You have a very clear vision. I think it makes sense.
Thanks.
I'm turning my video on because I'm going to read you my my goodbye. Yeah, sure. Let's try that. We might freeze up, but might not. So this is going to be a little bit repetitive because I already mentioned some of this, but okay. Ready? DeeDee. I first saw you and your band performing Natural Born Original at the Wildfire Recovery concert in Halifax in the spring of 2023. I heard and saw a unique and powerful musician on stage, a great band, and I thought, how awesome to be so poised and making positive connections at such a young age. Congratulations on all of your accolades, and I wish you a long and prosperous lifetime doing what you love.
Aww.
Aw, did I make you cry? Yes.
Yeah.
That's my mission. Just to make people not cry, but feel something.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, it's just such a delight. It's been great to talk to you. And I really look forward to like seeing you at the ECMAs. Like I know you're gonna be busy.
Me too. I'm excited to see you too. Whenever I saw you at the wildfire recovery concert and we talked after and you were like, I'm such a fan. I was like, yeah, this is my girl. I was like, me and her are gonna click.
I was fangirling for sure. And and I remember I was like, you were like, I think you were like, do you want to write a song? And I'm like, yes. I'm not good at co-writing, but like,
yeah, you're like, I don't really know how, but
I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been thinking about it because like I think it's gonna happen for us. I think it's just a matter of like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's something will hit where I'm like I have been thinking though, like, you know, whenever I'm not ready for a new record yet, or I'm not even in writing mode, but I keep thinking there's going to be a powerful message that involves two women, an older and a younger, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's something I feel like we can do on that, you know, just with that, like,
yeah, absolutely.
And I'd love for whatever it is to be something that we can sing together, like really strong, like two women.
Yeah, voices. Like I literally, like whenever I asked you to write, like I pictured, because like we all sang on the stage at the end for the finale. Mm-hmm. And so I like pictured like me and you writing a song that like we would like perform together. Like, so whether it's like in your set where you call me up or in my set where I call you up, I don't know. Like I just picture me and you like just rocking out on stage the one song.
Yeah. So I mean, we're both young still. We have lots of time, and I have, you know, we have a studio here. I'm sure you have access to studios too, but like we could get you up here to workshop something. And the cool thing is there's no rush. I'm a big fan of just like, let's just make it great, whatever it is. When it's great, we'll know it's great. You know, there's no pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, DeeDee, thank you. I won't keep you any longer, even though I want to hang out with you. I want to hang out with you all day, but I'm gonna go. I have to pack for the ECMAs.
Me too. I'm going to pack my suitcase right after this podcast. So yeah,
it's kind of stressing me out because I just want to wear like sweats and a t-shirt, but that's also not like me. I mean, it is at home, but like when I go out, I try to switch it up a bit.
I don't even know. I have to go like shopping or something. Like I need to get more outfits. I don't even know.
I do love
like cause now I'm breaking into like my 90-minute sets.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm trying to do it so that I can do like stepping stones at the beginning. So I'll wear my brand for my stepping stones and then switch my outfit for Stay Dancing. Like that's kind of how I'm picturing it. Cause I actually took the inspiration from Taylor Swift from one of her performances because she performs each album, but she like wears her brand for each album, and I'm like, that's actually like fire, like that's cool.
That's a very cool idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna try and do something like that as well.
Do it. I love it. Actually, can you let my audience know where they can find your merch and your
absolutely. So I have merch on sale in my store, which is on my website. So you can go to www.deedeeaustin.com and go to the store tab, and I have merch, and I'm working on getting new merch right now for my new album, and I'm also in the works of creating another album to release in November, which I'll have merch for that as well. So I'm always creating, always on the go, and I'm creating my third and fourth album right now. So
amazing. Congratulations. And your tattoo that I see for Buried Truth on your left arm can be seen on your merch, on your t-shirts, on your merch page, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I love a good tattoo, and I love a
too.
Good, I have these, when I see you, what's the other arm? Oh, nice.
So this one is in my mom's handwriting. It says, "You didn't come this far to only come this far."
Nice. Wow.
And then this is a paw that I got for my first ever dog that we got, our first ever family dog.
Oh.
She actually ended up passing away for about a month ago, but
I'm sorry.
I wanted to get her paw because it was our first ever dog. So.
Oh, that's so sweet. That is so sweet. When I see you, I will give you. I have these temporary tattoo packs I made for my album, and there are 8 tattoos in there, symbols from the music. So I will. There's some of them these are real tattoos on my hands, but some of them are like the ones on my hand, or like this
cool.
One. They're all little tattoos.
Cool.
So I'll give you one of those when I see you at the ECMAs.
Absolutely, and I'll promote it. I'll like take a bunch of pictures.
That's right, you will.
Me.
Yeah,
yes, I will. Absolutely.
That's right. That's the purpose.
Yes.
I don't want to say goodbye to you. Oh, I don't want to say goodbye to you. Welcome to the Heartbeat Hotline, 1-902-669-4769. I'm the host of A Chat with Heart podcast, Christina Martin, and I'm so excited you called. Leave me your question, a suggestion for the podcast, or a comment about this episode. Please be aware your message may be used on the podcast and social media. Tell me your name, where you're calling from, and it's also fine if you want to remain anonymous. Thanks for listening. Have a great fucking day. Thanks for listening to A Chat with Heart podcast, produced by me, Christina Martin, co-produced and engineered by my husband, Dale Murray. Dale's a stellar singer-songwriter and music producer, so check out his website, dalemurray.ca. The podcast theme song, Talk About It, and I Don't Want to Say Goodbye to You were written by me and recorded by Dale. Visit my Bandcamp to find CDs, vinyl, digital music, and fun merch like custom-made puzzles and temporary tattoo packs. Become a monthly or yearly supporter of this podcast and my music endeavors on Patreon. If you're new to Patreon, it's a membership platform that helps creators get paid. I love it. Sign up as a free or paid member at patreon.com/Christina Martin. I would love it if you had time to share, rate, leave a review, and subscribe to A Chat with Heart on all the places you listen to podcasts. Wishing you, my little heartbeat listeners, a great day.